Dunedin music has received a fair amount of exposure over the past year or so. The Flying Nun bands continue to be the most consistent crowd pullers throughout the country, and stablemates The Chills and The Great Unwashed have received critical acclaim in Britain's New Musical Express. The Flying Nun bands aside, we see new bands cropping up in Dunedin, such as The Idols and Working with Walt.
And I see the lights are mounting and coming across at me, the K Road. And I wonder what the people are doing. Are they reading the newspaper or their TV? Are they wondering what I'm doing in my bus? Are they watching what's going on around them?
The Empire Tavern had their birthday in August or July, and had 5 bands, and the Chills played first at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to an audience of about 30 people. I mean, I don't think that would happen anywhere else. And they were the best of the 5, and they played first. They didn't mind going on first. There's no competition or anything.
The whole impact has been on the songs themselves. People have been working on that because, you may have a big lighting show and sort of good clothes and good moves, but, lighting and good moves don't count for a record, which is why I think Dunedin bands, because they're concentrating on just writing the songs, are constantly putting out good records.
Most of them are really good because they're not just so much pop stars. They're fairly cynical generally, and they don't pull too many pop star trips on you.
Just as a generalisation, all New Zealand bands are on par, if not superior, to any product that's from overseas. And Dunedin bands are actually, in my opinion, at the foremost of New Zealand music at the moment.
The Flying Nun sound has been around for a while, and it started with the Enemy and what have you. But there is a move away. Everything's got to change. But the beauty of Dunedin is that because the music's so controversial here, the musicians are constantly trying to be original.
Long on an air bus, looking at the drops of water and the drops all around me, running to the road and the decaying houses on the side of the street and the pavements running along Tarsier Road and the white lines passing before me.
The Empire Tavern in Princes Street. This weekend, newcomers to the Flying Nun fold The Rip are playing, but not so long ago this was the testing ground for another group of young hopefuls. The now famous Flying Nun Brothers. Is there a danger perhaps of Flying Nun Stable becoming perhaps an exclusive club? Or is it intended to be that way? I don't think so at all.
Apart from the logistics of the fact that Flying Nun can only have so many bands, they've got to exist as a financial operation.
Then again, bands who sort of try to get on it, like a couple of sort of more well-known bands have tried to get on it and they've been rejected, so they sort of make accusations of it being an elitist club, but I don't think it is.
There's a recent NME review of The Chills and Great Unwashed, which seem to be pretty positive. Is that, do you think Roger might perhaps be looking towards marketing some of your product overseas?
Well, it'd obviously be a good idea, I think. It's certainly as valuable as anything that's happening in Britain at the minute, which isn't very much. So obviously, as long as there's a market for half-decent music, then I see no reason why Roger can't have quite a big success.
Do you think their success has probably spurred other bands on down here?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it historically, the Beatles in Britain in the 60s, there was millions of really good second and third division bands clawing onto their coattails. The same thing happened in Australia with the Easy Beats. I think as long as there's a magic band there at the top, like the Chills, or before them the Clean, before them the Enemy, you're going to get lots of bands. I think they're going to inspire lots of bands.
Another undercurrent of other bands coming through above those, they're sort of Dunedin, or nationally known Dunedin bands now, which is very healthy for the Dunedin scene.
Are they adhering to the Flying Nun Stable?
Not totally. Some of them find the Flying Nun Stable boring old farts. But they are still very much, I guess, in the Dunedin tradition.
Dunedin's numero uno gig, the Captain Cook. Unfortunately, the biggies like the Chills and Verlaines aren't playing this weekend, but for the new bands, it's a good chance to flex their muscles.
Equipment-wise and recording-wise is nowhere near as good as Auckland. Like, you buy guitars down here and they're generally $100 more than they are in Auckland, and just general things like that. The availability of equipment, new stuff on the market.
Yeah, but it's not isolated musically.
Musically, I think more is happening down here. because there's a wide range of styles of music.
Isolated from commercialism.
All those sunny days are needed when your friend is big done bleeding on the street of inspiration. Hasn't changed much since we've been there. People walk around and they stare. We sit and breathe the nostalgic air.
We started off up north, and then 3 years ago we moved down here. It's been difficult, I suppose. We don't really play rock music as such.
Over my body, over my body. Set awoke, miserable life. Set awoke, miserable life.
Do you find it any advantage being perhaps the only all-girl band around town?
Yeah, in a way, because people have been good to us, like, with gear and stuff, but in some ways it's a disadvantage because sometimes people don't take you seriously, or if they hear a song that they like, they seem quite surprised, that girls actually can do it, but I don't know, women I should say.
What you said, I'm a fool to believe in you at all. These Richard jet jerks, and then it goes a one, a one, a one, a one, a one, a sin. Red, crimson, purple shine so bright.
We've only been out of Dunedin about 3 times. We went to Christchurch with the Verlaines, and that was good, but Christchurch audiences gave us a bit of a shock, being sort of quiet and not moving much. And we went to Christchurch with the Double Happies again to help finance our recording, and down to Gore to open the Gore Arts Festival.
All the things you don't want to be, and all the world's heartbeats, and all the fear, fret and heat that comes up from the street. And the wind of the sound of the holy.
You get to the stage where you can only play. There's only so many people in Dunedin, and I should play to them so often. You can't change that rapidly. That you're going to keep them entertained for a long period of time. You've got to go out and search for other audiences as well.
What we need is a good recording studio, because for us to go to Auckland, we're spending lots of money just to go up there and record. When there's so many bands coming out of Dunedin that are putting out material, it should be obvious. There should be one here.
I'm under raving.
We've been sitting in the practice room working on getting some songs together to try and make a good record, one good record. That's our goal just now. I hear you've signed to Virgin Records. That's right. We signed. Well, we're doing a single with them initially, seeing how that goes. For further commitments after that. But just now we want to get one good record. They were looking for one sort of New Zealand band who they thought that they hoped they could market overseas. I think we might be sort of their pet project. It's probably good public relations for a label like Virgin to work New Zealand music, and they were looking for one band, and they thought that we sort of had the potential. I think more than anything, the Dunedin sound, or those bands that are put into that tag, they're probably what's different about Dunedin, or what I think is different about Dunedin. So they'll get a lot of exposure as concerns. They are original to Dunedin, but there are a lot of other sort of more mainstream bands. I guess we're like that. The Backdoor Blues band are like that. I'm working with Walt, the Idols, who maybe could come out of any city, but are still doing good things, as coming from Dunedin. I've noticed also, just looking around town, that there's quite a few of the older players still around, like John Dodd and Johnny Hodge and people like that. I mean, John Purvis, in fact, from Christchurch, from Baby and company. Do they still attract a crowd at all?
Oh yeah, I think it's amazing really how small Dunedin is that all those bands can have a good crowd. In fact, I think a band like the Chills get a relatively small crowd relative to how good they are. Because I think these other bands have still got their following, and Dunedin's not really big enough to have giant crowds, but they've all got good crowds.
A house of cards so easily scattered. Get worse from me, expect the best. When the wind blows this room apart, I don't expect you'll even notice.
And there's always been a lot of emphasis given on the Dunedin sound bands, and obviously it's fine if you're a Dunedin sound band, and I wish all the luck to them, but we're not. And so it's good to see that there are other bands of other sorts making it. I mean, there's a lot of other music happening in Dunedin apart from the Dunedin sound sort of idea. It's good to see that it's paying off. It's getting a little bit of recognition.
Sure. And where do you think you'll eventually end up being based?
Well, I think probably the North Island. I think there's just a bit more happening up there. I mean, Dunedin's a great place to start a band. We started from absolute scratch, and it worked because there were venues to get a hold of, just the same as all the other Dunedin bands started. I mean, we were inexperienced and pretty inept, but we were able to sort of grow up in public, whereas a lot of other centres you can't do that. They expect a very high level of performance and musicianship straight away, and that's one of the good aspects about coming through the Dunedin sort of thing.
I'm going around to the return.
Crystal Zoom are interesting. I don't know what they are intending to do, but they've got some good song ideas. They've got a great sense of humour.
The underage thing seems to be, there seem to be few and far between around Dunedin.
Yeah, a lot of hassle with the police, not so much as them picking on underage things, just things get broken up. The venue owners especially are not keen for the same reason, and also I think a lot of bands just aren't interested in organising. There's a lot of work to put in. This one was really about 2 days solid work.
The farmer and his dog come to round up the sheep. Hey, sheep dog, hey, sheep
As far as late nighters go, if you're not into cabarets or discos, you can always go down the road to Governors and spot the local Dunedin musos. If you're not into that and you want to go upmarket, perhaps upstairs, you can always go to Fox's.